In which way, how can you do it even a little bit? Like, what can bring you one step, one half a foot closer to what you want to be doing? Like, I'm usually that person who, like, I go, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing this 5 days a week, and it's going to be live, and it's going to blah, 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 blah. Like, you don't have to go 0 to 100. Like, stop at 20 if you need to, like, what can you do to make yourself a little bit happier?
Welcome to the Persistence U podcast with Lizbeth. That's you as in university, but we're really much more of a community here. Lizbeth Meredith is an author, speaker, and online teacher. Each week, she'll be delivering amazing stories from survivors and strivers, all threaded together with a dose of persistence. We're so glad you're listening.
Richard Wilmore, I'm so excited to have you back on Persistence U after years. It's so good to see you.
I know, but I feel like I'm getting yelled at by my mother using my full name. If you threw a James in there as my middle name, I might get scared.
Good to know. I might use that depending on how this conversation goes.
Yes. When I get that email, Richard James Wilmore, this episode is not going out. You screwed it up.
Well, it is fabulous to see you now. I remember back in the day, 2022, I believe, might have been 2023, but you were like episode 41 on Persistence U, and now I'm looking at 200.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
So I know. Well, thank you. And I remember you were working diligently in a beautiful program to help bring art to people who were ill and who had nothing to do with their time. But you made it accessible, your organization you worked for, and it was a delightful conversation. But I remember your dream was to one day have your own show. And here we are. So tell me and tell us about how you decided it was time to greenlight your own life.
Yes, my goal since I was 10 years old was to have a daytime talk show, a live weekday daytime talk show. That was always my goal. And how did I get there? I was that person who knew exactly what they wanted to do with their life, but did everything else except what they should have just been doing, which I'm sure you hear a lot on this show. And my job, and I loved working for that nonprofit. It changed my life. It saved my life in many ways. It was arts and health for me, but then it became, I was not practicing what I was preaching, and it didn't feel authentic to me, and it didn't feel like it was just not a good fit anymore. I had changed roles. Nonprofits are tough.
Right. Funding comes and go, pay goes and goes.
Yes. And I ended up in a position where I was in charge. And so that wasn't fun anymore. And I was having fun in the hospitals and so it was wearing on my health. It was wearing on everything. And I literally, it felt like a rash decision, but it was so long time coming. And it was a buildup and a buildup. And I thought, I have to leave and I have to kind of save my life and do what I have to do and what brings me joy. And so I left, not really expecting to do a show again. What I was going to do was help other podcasters. Like, that was my goal, because I loved the creative part of that, of helping them figure out what they want their backdrops to be and their graphics and their editing and all that stuff. And as I was doing that with other people, it really started like, well, maybe I should have a podcast about podcasting. So as kind of like a business arm,
Right.
And then I thought, I should probably just do what I always wanted to do. Like this, I have the time and I should do that. And so I just started. And I was like, that's it. This is what I'm going to do. And hopefully people show up to watch, and hopefully people show up to sit in the guest chair. And like, we just did 223rd episode.
Wow.
And we started last June. So
that's amazing. And I'm so thankful that I got to be on your show. And honestly, your use of color and little weird things, the flourishes that you add, make it so much fun. I don't know how you do it.
Oh, good.
I don't find the whole process to be all that fun, but you make it fun. And I just was mesmerized with it. I was like, oh my gosh, look, he put my little head in a TV, an old fashioned TV screen. Yeah.
Well, I like the feel because it kind of makes you feel like you're here in the room with me. You know? Like that's what I wanted. I had a show at one time that I would have live musicians and my guests were in this and there was a live audience and I missed that. And at some point we'll go back to that. But I wanted to make it feel like you were still here hanging out with me. And I feel like I
think
kind
you
of
do an
accomplished that.
amazing job. How did you come up with the title? Make Your Day.
It was kind of the tagline of, how did I do that? The tagline of the Richard Wilmore show, I guess.
Okay.
Or people start, you know what? That's a great question. I don't know if someone told me like, oh, you're making people's days richer. And then, you know, like a little twist on my name. And then as I was figuring out what kind of show I wanted to do, I still wanted it to be arts-based and creative and talking to people. But then I thought, I want it to be something that you can watch every day and take a little nugget of something away from it, or a nonprofit that like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that existed. Maybe I should look into that. They could help me. I could help them. You know, I can relate to your story when you were on my show, like what happened there. And I think that's how it went. I just wanted a little quick interview every day of someone that might change your life.
I like that. So much fun. And if people are on YouTube, they can see behind you tons of color. So it seems like it gives you a lot of energy and you give the show a lot of energy.
Yes. Also, I mean, because I'm zoomed out more on my shows. So there's a bunch of crap around here that if I suck or the guest sucks, there's something to look at. So it's a distraction too. But yes, it like instantly, I don't know, it makes you feel like you kind of know what you're going to get yourself into, right? Like, it's just a little play for 20 minutes.
That is so much fun.
Don't get to do that anymore, or they don't let themselves do.
So how did you enjoy it from the very beginning? When did you start feeling you were in a rhythm?
Episode 80, 90 is when I felt like, okay, I can keep up with it now. I started on Podmatch. So I started the show in June where I was just kind of looking for people myself. And then I joined Podmatch in November. And I thought my goal was always to be not just a daytime, like a daily show, but like maybe to get paid for doing it.
Sure.
And then, you know, the hosts get a little bit of money from Podmatch. So I thought, okay, well, let me just see how many I can do. Like, how much money can I make from doing this? And I did like 100 interviews in 2 months. And it was exhausting. Like, and I kept thinking like, but this is what you always wanted to do. But then it started to be like, I was doing them one after 5, 6, 7 a day.
Oh no.
And yeah, for like 2 months. And I felt like I just was saying the same things over and over again. And then you could tell I'm still using interviews from December of 2024. That's how many I did. And I still have live people every day too. And so then I scaled that because I was like, I want to still love this. I don't want to burn out and I want to have fun doing this myself. But yeah, it took like 80, 90 episodes before I felt like I was in a groove and I felt like I knew, because I made it so complicated, like you said, with the TV and the graphics, like I've made it so complicated for myself that I feel like now I kind of know which buttons to push and when and how not to screw it up as much during every episode.
What do you do when someone doesn't show up? Because that has happened. And I'm lucky because I pre-record. Mm-hmm. So it's, you know, it's not my favorite thing just because I'm grumpy when that happens. If I don't get any notice, but it happens. Life happens to all of us. When you're live, that's a big deal. What happens then?
So I was doing 2 things. I've done it a couple different ways where I do pre-interview, like I do recorded interviews as well. Like if someone can't make a live show, I'll do that. So I usually have one edited just in case.
Good.
And then for a while I was doing 2 guests per show because I was interviewing so many people. And so I would have one pre-recorded guest and then a live guest. So even if the live guest didn't show up, I still had an interview ready and the person knew they were going to be on that show. And I just had this happen last week where someone, no, they showed, but it wasn't working. Their camera, like they couldn't figure out their cameras and then I thought, you know what, like me getting mad about it and me being all upset about it, and me scrambling, like, what's that really going to do? Like, am I going to not do a show tomorrow? Yes, I'm going to. Like, in the grand scheme of, and this took me 223 episodes to figure this out. Like, it's okay. Like, you just don't do a show that day. You know, I have no contract anywhere that like I'm going to get in trouble. It's just me here by myself.
Right.
So, but that took a really long time to just be okay with it. Cause I like I want that, you know, I would love to have a show on TV that like works with a crew and, you know, so I like to do this show. Like I have all of that, but then I realized it's okay. Like Facebook will also probably, it'll help reset some things too if I maybe take a break. And it's, you know, I'm not live when it thinks I'm usually live. So that's how I deal with that now. But I also, like I said, have the recorded ones just in case something crazy happens.
All right. So it was good because you still had, I mean, I love that you had your goal from the beginning. You always knew what you wanted to do, but also not turning it into a torturous process with your mindset is really important too. And that, I feel like for me, if something means a lot to me, like writing and a launch, getting book reviews, something like that, I have obsessed at points where it is so punishing for everyone involved that I literally had to say to myself, it's not that big of a deal. And it doesn't honestly even pay for your cat food. So let it go. The cats are eating fine. You do other work and enjoy your life. Do not let this become a weapon where people don't even want to be on ever again.
Yes. I do that. Like, I have been like, what am I doing? I'm never doing this again. I'm canceling all my interviews from now on. I'm like, I go through all of that all the time. Not all the time, but yes, when there's like, because I'm really bad at technology and everybody thinks I'm really good at it because of the way everything looks. But if I turn it all on and the camera isn't working, I'm like, the fumes are coming out of my ears and I don't know how to fix it. Like, I'm that person. I have no idea. So do not hire me to do that.
Right.
Because I don't know. And so then I have to like talk myself down. And it's usually like 1984 with your Nintendo. You like unplug it and plug it back in and then it works. But that stuff is so frustrating to me because I'm like, it is 2025. I should be able to plug a camera in and it should work. Like, how is this not working? So yes, I'm starting to just like, okay, how is that supposed to happen? But yeah.
Nice. What have you learned having your own show again, like your own show? Have there been any lessons that surprised you that have transformed to the other parts of your life?
I think that's one of them is like, calm the F down. Like, calm down. It's okay. Nothing's really that serious, right? Like you said, like, it's not even paying for cat food. So, and I have a 91-pound Great Pyrenees, so it's definitely not paying for dog food. And so just like, it's okay. You know, like you put out the best, you do the best you can and move on. Like you can try again tomorrow.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you're doing great. I mean, I've watched the show some outside of being on it and it's just so much fun. Feels very celebratory.
Oh, good.
We need that.
Good. Yeah. That was the goal. So I'm glad.
Good job. What is next for you? What do you think some other goals will be?
I really want to start bringing in more local people from where I am in South Carolina. Like I'm very close to Charlotte, but far enough away where we don't have a lot of places for arts and entertainment. And there's a ton of creativity in this area and it's not celebrated enough. And that's always where my heart goes. And so I want to start bringing on more people from around here and seeing what they're up to.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to seeing that in the future. And meanwhile, I still have people in my mind, ideas for you.
Okay, good.
It'd be fun. Yeah. Yep. That is so exciting. So are you doing any art yourself outside of this beautiful work that you do? Or is this...
I try really hard. When I first left the nonprofit, the day after I left, I went and spent a ton of money at all different art stores. And I have a tote now full of canvases and paint and like all the stuff because I really wanted to just like dive into that and see what comes out. Like, I'm not an artist. I'm not really anything, but I like doing all of it. And so that's like, and I know that. So that's what I spend time doing. And I'm suddenly like, I just got a Substack account. Are you on Substack?
No. Do you like it?
Did we talk about this on my show?
We did
I
not.
think we talked about this. Oh,
We did not.
I have only written like once or twice, but I do love writing as well. Like just random, whatever comes out. Like I don't think I could ever write a book, but like I love just like whatever's like word vomit, whatever's in my head to come out. So I do a couple different things, but not as much as I should be. And I know that.
So I think if you take the should out of it, because ideally you just want to do it and you never feel bad if you don't do it. But I've had friends tell me, like one friend, Don King, he is a podcaster, and he was telling me he hosts his podcast on Substack and it helps with his newsletter. And then I was just speaking with a woman today, Susan Hensley, who is very focused on art journaling. And I know
she's
you're
on my show. Yeah.
Really? I love that. Honestly, it sounded so abstract and obscure to me when I wasn't really picturing what it was. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go get me some crayons and start doing that, because that's so good, especially for people. And I think you're a little bit like this, and me too, struggling with perfectionism. You've got to have an outlet that we don't get rewarded when it looks good. So I would say she was really stressing having cheap products like crayons, stuff like that, to where you don't say to yourself, and then I hope to get better. No, this is just for fun. This is an outlet.
Yes.
I'm thinking about this.
Yes, 100%. I always say most of my art gets hung on the walls of a garbage can, and I'm okay with that. But I do it, and I'm like, all right. I just threw a canvas away the other day because I was like, I think I'm done with this. And then I just threw it away because I was like, not going anywhere, but I did it, and I wanted to. So
and it felt good.
Yeah.
And it uses a different part of your brain. I can't help but think that relaxes us. If we're busy in our minds creating, we need to stop at some point and just do something, but let it out. Have an outlet for this.
Yeah.
A little less pressure.
I always think of that with like creative people, artistic people. Like, what do you do to, like, so many people, like you just said, use the arts as ways for mental health and clarity? And like, what does an artist do?
Right.
And I don't know.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Okay, who's going to be, if you could pick any famous person in the world?
Rosie O'Donnell.
Really? Okay.
Whatever you're going to
say.
say.
I did know this about you. I think I did know this about you. Yeah, that's right. Now, have you
what's
met
the
her?
question? No.
It was going to be, who would be your dream guest if you could pick anyone?
Yep. She just liked my TikTok comment the other day.
Richard,
so
congratulations.
big day around here for that, and replied to it. So she does know I am like, I'm in, like, like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, like the six degrees of separation. I'm probably like 12 from her.
Okay.
But I feel like at least she knows I exist. She doesn't know who I am, but she knows, she's familiar with either my name or my face.
Okay. Well,
so Rosie, if you're listening or watching,
if any of our listeners or viewers know of a connection to Rosie O'Donnell, I need to hook you up. Mine would be Dolly Parton, of course. I would have voted for her for president. I love her. I just find her to be endlessly amazing. And yeah, that would be like fabulous.
I love her. Yeah.
I absolutely do. So anyway, there is that. Well, congratulations. I don't know. It's just exciting to check back in, see an old friend, and see that you are doing the thing that you said you wanted to do. And I'm not suggesting that it goes off without a hitch or that you don't want to make more money in the future or whatever. That's all of us, right?
Yeah.
But we have to stop and celebrate that a few years ago, you said you wanted to do this thing. Here we are. You're doing it.
Wow. Well, thanks for making me stop. Yes. I talk about yes.
You're welcome. I just made your day richer.
You did. Yes. When you're doing it every day, you just like, okay, that's over, on to the next, and it is hard to celebrate.
We forget to stop. And really what I have found with myself is if we don't stop and celebrate even small wins, even though the list includes 9 more things, there's just no point in doing any of it. I think the quickest route to burnout is to never say, yippee, It was something you named, and here we are having this conversation with your fabulous backdrop. So congrats.
This was the perfect day to do this interview.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I needed it. Yeah.
Good. Well, you're doing great.
Well, thanks. You're not doing so bad yourself.
I know. Thank you. Thank you. I'm the mother of 2 cats and 2 amazing kids. Good enough.
And none of them made an appearance today, so that's good.
Oh, I'm a little disappointing. I did ask them to calm down, and this is the 3rd interview of the day, so maybe they're just tired and they're not getting the extra. Just 3 today.
Okay.
What's
the most you'll do?
I normally wouldn't do this many. And what I have found for my interviewing process, because I only interview once a week, I'm very absent-minded, really, truly, very, very absent-minded, have been my whole life. So it's not just like some people would say, well, it's your age or it's menopause. No. It's how I was born. So I will forget things. So Monday has always been interview days, and any jobs I take and gigs and contract work have to accommodate that I podcast on Monday. But I find if I do too many in a row, I get compassion fatigue or distracted, which looks like compassion fatigue. And the guests are really interesting and amazing. So 1 or 2 is perfect for a day.
Yeah.
3 has been really pleasant. I've had great people today, but it's just, I need to learn how to use, speaking of not good with tech, I don't understand how to use Calendly very well. And so I don't know how to block off times appropriately when I change my mind, but I'd like to have 1 interview from here on out a day on Mondays.
Yeah, because you want to be present.
Yep.
And you want to actually listen to what people are saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And celebrate the day, the interview in the day. So
yeah, I love that.
Anyway, any words of wisdom for other people who are thinking to themselves, I have a dream myself. I have a goal that I want to achieve. I've always seen myself doing X. What would you say to that person?
In which way, how can you do it even a little bit? Like, what can bring you 1 step, half a foot closer to what you want to be doing? Like, I'm usually that person who, I go, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing this 5 days a week, and it's going to be live, and it's going to blah, 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 blah. Like, you don't have to go 0 to 100. Like, stop at 20 if you need to, Like, what can you do to make yourself a little bit happier?
I like it. Good advice. That is sage advice. I like that very, very much. Good job for you on Make Your Day Richer with Richard Wilmore. That is live every weekday and have some pre-recorded episodes as well. Where else can people learn more and connect with you and or your work?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm on all the things because you have to be, right? All the social media stuff, and Substack apparently is where you should find me now, so I can get, because you have to have so many to be able to go live on Substack. So
okay.
It's not that many. I just am never on there. So follow me there.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Thank you. And you're on Facebook as well, correct?
Oh, yes.
That's where the show is often, is it streaming in StreamYard, or how does that work?
It streams on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn in the morning, and then goes out on all, podcast platforms and Instagram in the afternoon.
That is awesome. Okay. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for this delightful conversation. It's good to see you again. What do you want to be doing the next time we talk in 2 years?
I'll be talking to you from a studio with room for an audience.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Excellent.
Okay,
see you there.
I'll be here.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully there. Yeah.
Thanks for coming back to Persistence U.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's show. Thank you so much for listening. Now, to find out more, head on over to lameredith.com and be sure to hop on the mailing list too. If you've enjoyed this show, please leave a rating and review or share with a friend. And if you really, really liked it, go ahead and subscribe so that you never miss another episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Persistence U with Lizbeth.